Joining me live right now is Jonathan Conricus, spokesperson of the Israeli Defense Forces. Thank you for your time. Israel has surrounded the entire Gaza city. Just talk to us a little about the progress, and also we'll in fact come to the challenges, if you could touch upon that, from various sides that you are facing, vis-a-vis the Hamas, vis-a-vis the Hezbollah as well.
Right. Good morning to you, and thank you for having me on the show. Fighting in Gaza is quite intense. Our troops are on the ground and they are advancing according to plan. They are in various locations around the city of Gaza, engaging the enemy, finding the enemy, and then destroying the enemy. Hamas is embedded heavily within the civilian population, uses sensitive facilities for its military purposes, and has an elaborate tunnel network which it uses for transport as well as for combat. And we have multiple incidents of our troops being attacked inside the Gaza Strip by Hamas combatants appearing from tunnels, attacking and then trying to retreat. But so far we have been able to handle those situations very well, and there are many enemy casualties. We are very committed and focused on our job. The job is to make sure that Hamas is dismantled militarily, and that at the end of this war, no atrocities like October 7th, the massacre that started this war, can ever occur again. We are focused on Gaza, but we are definitely looking and ready for any developments from the north. Hezbollah has escalated its efforts over the last few days with more rockets, missiles, UAVs, and other weaponry towards civilians and towards our military bases. And we are awaiting a statement by the chief terrorist of Hezbollah, Hassan Nasrallah, to see where the region goes, if we are now facing regional war. Last sentence about that: we are not interested in war and we haven't asked for it, but if it is forced upon us, we will defend ourselves with ferocious determination, and we will not tolerate any attacks from Lebanon by Hezbollah against Israel.
I also want to ask you, because you did say that you've not asked for war and it was something that was imposed on you, and we know how Israel was attacked on the 7th of October, but how big is this responsibility, and how well are you able to execute this job of ensuring that the civilian casualties in Gaza, that of women and children, is at the minimal, sir?
Yes, we are definitely aware of that and trying. It should be mentioned and clear that the responsibility for that is on the governing body in Gaza, which is Hamas. But the sad reality is that not only do they not protect their civilians, not do they not provide humanitarian aid to the civilians under their responsibility, but they're using them cynically day in and day out as humanitarian shields. They have their fighting positions underneath the civilians, and they have prevented civilians from evacuating the combat zone. We, 2 weeks ago, asked for the evacuation of northern Gaza because we knew that this is where the main fighting is going to be, out of care for the life of non-combatants. And about 800,000 of those civilians living, more than 1.1 million live there. 800,000 have evacuated, and the others have not evacuated for various reasons, one of them being that Hamas has stopped that from happening. We continue to fight according to the laws of armed conflict and to conduct ourselves as a professional military of a democratic state. We are bound by our values and virtues, unlike our enemy, which are ruthless terrorists that have murdered, kidnapped, mutilated, and raped and taken hostages, and are now using Palestinian civilians as their human shields.